Thank you.
Ron?
Where was a PRUD, I assumed that they had to take care of their, the streets, the snow removal, things like that, or are these
These
just
have to
streets?
be public streets, which
Okay.
makes it a lot simpler
So-
because we already maintain the streets and plow the snow.
So there's, and if they take care of the common areas, we're not increasing any exposure to the city as
No,
far as?
there would be keeping and maintaining the private park that we will leave there, and they will be responsible for it.
So from a city standpoint, it really won't affect the services that we either provide or don't provide?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Brett?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, as I look at the zoning map, it says it is R1-8, but then Quail Ponds as a special variant of the R1-8. And the remaining lots of Phase 3 do not meet the requirements of R1-8.
None
Correct.
of the proposed of those lots will meet that requirement of the R1-8. That map is wrong. There is a zone over it that is Quail Pond.
Right,
zone.
I know, but if we get rid of that, I assume it will be.
Well,
falling back
you would
to
have to
1-8.
decide what the zoning would be. You have that whole library of zones that you could put on the property. But,
So, okay, if it's vacated, then the developer cannot develop any future lots until a zoning determination
no,
is
you're
made?
vacating the subdivision, not the zone. There is a Quail Pond zone. If you look, do you have your zoning?
I've got the Quail Pond zone right here.
Right,
so-
that's a legal zone, the same as an R1-8 or an R1-10 or an R2. It's one of the zones in our city. This is unique to North Ogden City. They developed that process back in when you had other city management where they said, we're going to create a new zone for every PRUD we approve. No other city and I know of has ever done that. They've always been approved under the R1-8, R1-6, and then the PRUD standards were allowed to happen within that. But North Ogden City, for whatever reason, back in the mid-90s chose to go another direction when they did that. They created a new zone for every PRUD. You can go through and you can see all
Right.
those we have.
Yeah, I've read it, so my question is then, I guess, if we vacate the PRUD, which essentially sounds like it's the common areas, the association, the builder will still be required to follow the PRUD standards for all those remaining lots, is that
You're
correct?
required to follow
Or
the
the
Quail
Quail
Pond
Pond
zone.
zone
We're going to
standards.
take that, it says Quail Pond's PRUD standards.
Okay,
You see the title of the
yeah.
zone? We're going to have to take that PRUD out of that name because it no longer will be that, but they'll still have the Quail Pond zone that they'll have to follow, yes.
Okay, so with the restrictions only being 1 story, the setbacks and things.
Whatever's in there. That's
Okay.
correct. Unless they propose an amendment.
And who would be the approval authority on that? Is it the planning
The
commission?
approval authority of,
If you request to amend the
no,
zone?
zoning is still a legislative action. Planning commission will recommend, the council will approve.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I have some other questions, but maybe I'll just wait till after the public comments, because some of them may come out at that time, if it's all right. Will we have another?
Yes, you'll have opportunity.
Yeah, we have discussions
Okay.
on number item 8.
Okay, Wade, do you have any questions, comments?
Well, I was just going to say a lot of the open spaces, the PRU is not the way it was originally drawn up to be, and a lot of the open spaces that were going to be trails and so forth, they're already being maintained by these homeowners. There's actually fences, backyard fences, and landscaping and trees and shrubs where a lot of those public open spaces and paths were supposed to be. So. And what we're doing is important because it's a legality, which is important. But basically, that's what it is. There's a couple of open spaces still there that they're taking care of together as their association. But much of it, the way it was supposed to be, the homeowners already proposed in their backyard stand, and they're taking care of the property. So it's not going to do anything as far as adversely affect this at all. It's just really giving the homeowners what they want with the property. that they're already taken care of and maintained.
That's true. I'd make just one minor correction, and that's, that those were common areas, not public areas, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, it's not public areas. We get that taken care of from earlier today?
Yes, public hearing open, and anyone that desires to make a comment or make a statement, you're invited to come to the podium and give your name and address and state what you'd like to talk about.
It was very inappropriate. We want to thank all of you for the work this week. Brent's and Ally, Mr. Pink, Megan, I'm not well, it's hard for tonight. This has been a culmination, and let me tell you, I've been there.
Repeat your name and address, please.
John Brown, 2010 North 775. I have been there from the beginning, Martha.
Yes, you have.
The original intent of this was a van that took the council to Murray to show them what a PRUD would look like. This city was not really prepared at the time that it was presented. They were really learners, and this is where we started getting into difficulties. Just to make it clarified with you, there will only be 2 parcels of ground that will remain a park. And we are forming an LLC that will control those 2 small pieces. If you've driven through there, the larger piece has a bridge over it and shrubs in it and trees in it, and that was put in by the homeowner that lives next to it. The other one is a small piece across the street next to the what was the pond and the falling house to the north. So there isn't going to be a lot for us to control. We also are attempting to make this be as far away as we can get it from the word PRUD. We will be controlled as a LLC, we will be controlled as a committee, and we will not have an HOA. We will, as a committee, we will have words of direction. There will not be a CCNR, as I was informed that is not a requirement for a subdivision, but we will have a form of directions so that you can feel safe as a city knowing that we will be acquiring dues that will defray the expenses necessary to maintain it. Several years ago, the developer also came to the Planning Commission. Some of you were aware of that at the time, but not what the consequences would be. And when he proposed taking phase 3 and taking those lots deeper south, he usurped all of the commons area that was going to be a walkway. That was the original intent to go around the subdivision. So at this point, there's so much of it gone that there's no way of redeeming it. So I would appreciate if you really look at it tonight and determine that this needs to be over. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Charlene Beater, 2017 North, 775 East. I'd like to thank Mr. Taylor and Mr. Bigler for both taking the time to research this whole situation personally so that they could see the situation that we're talking about in actuality rather than just on paper. Bruce Jones sold me my house 2 years ago. I'm a single 50-year-old woman. I put every penny I had into my home. I paid $214,000 for the home at the time, only to find out about 6 months ago that I don't own my backyard. I put a patio slab, a $5,500 patio cover. I landscaped the backyard. When I purchased the home, there was a sidewall and there was a rear fence. I asked the real estate agent representing Caliute Homes, Mr. Jones, if it would be okay if I put another side fence in because I had 2 little dogs and I needed to fence them in. They said, fine, no problem. Never was it disclosed to me that what I thought was my backyard was not my backyard. My backyard is very, very small, very small. Supposedly from the center of the irrigation canal towards my home, 30 feet from the center of the canal towards my home, was supposed to be common area. Like I said, I found this out 6 months ago.